Business and human rights is not an optional extra. It's not something that you can say, if I have it, therefore I am good. It's you must have it. I don't believe that you can operate in any part of the world anymore unless you have a deep understanding of what that means. So as everybody knows, Kakuzi was in the limelight for various allegations, and we looked very carefully at that time at ourselves and felt that we had to respond in a credible and progressive manner, facing into the wind, not shying away from the problems, looking at what are ways that we can mitigate risks to people was a very, very important part of our strategy. In large organizations where you're dealing with tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, different suppliers, different supply chains, things, unfortunately, can go wrong. That's when you need to have the credible, independent grievance mechanisms that allow people to have access to remedy.
An OGM is an operational grievance mechanism, and is a mechanism which, under the UN principles, companies are asked to actually give remedy. Most of the time we think human rights should be protected by the state only. But actually what has happened is the knowledge that human rights also are violated by companies, and companies ought to give a remedy. And the place that the institution that then provides the remedy is the operational grievance mechanism. And the one for Kakuzi is called Sikika, or to be heard.
Kakuzi's operational grievance mechanism is a channel through which the community, the employees, can engage with the company to bring forth complaints that they feel that Kakuzi should do better and address certain challenges that they may experience. So it is an avenue for all members, for stakeholders to bring their complaints and give feedback to Kakuzi with regard to its operations.
Our grievance mechanism was established by some senior, for want of a better word, experts in business and human rights. They took a process of about 6 months engaging with thousands of different stakeholders, whether they be community members, international NGOs, local NGOs, government bodies, ourselves, our managers. That stakeholder engagement led to the development of a 2-tier operational level grievance mechanism. The Tier 1, which is an internal mechanism, is very much dealing with grievances, common grievances, whether they be labour-related, some environmental issues. They're all dealt with internally. We have a second tier, which is an independent external mechanism, which deals with serious allegations. So what you would consider to be serious human rights violations. And that's staffed by a team of professionals, again, professionals chosen after consultation with stakeholders. These professionals are then independent, they're able to look into, investigate these allegations, and they're able to provide remedy.
Does the company accept the judgments? Yes, they have actually accepted the judgments we give. Our process has an appeal process. So after the decision, either the company or the complainant can appeal. We have given judgments against Kakuzi, and there's no one they have appealed. So actually they've just accepted and made payments where the payments are supposed to be made. The other thing Kakuzi has done now, before we make the payments, we have to take people through financial training, which is something they have paid. And for example, you can do financial training before monies are released to the complainants.
Previously, people had this perception of Kakuzi is a big company, it's an untouchable company, so you cannot raise any complaint against them. But once we opened ourselves up through the OGM, now the community members, the employees were now, happy that if I feel aggrieved by the operations of the company, then there's a channel for me, I can be heard.
A lot of people look at the tail end of the human rights process, which is the access to remedy, what they call the operational level grievance mechanisms. But actually what we should be doing is focusing on the very beginning. Where are the risks to people and how do we mitigate those? So there's been various initiatives, and some of them I'm actually very, very proud of. Our safety marshals, which is a team of about 30 females from the local community, identified by the local community as being trustworthy and people who they would allow to escort their children to and from school. And there's been some very interesting, positive, unintended consequences. Kids are getting a better education because they're turning up to school on time. They're not getting waylaid playing games or whatever on the way back, so they're getting home and they're able to get on with their other activities as well. So these have all led to a better learning environment, which to me is quite positive. We've had another major initiative, and that's around fuel wood. Everybody knows that in our part of the world, the majority of people use biomass to cook food. We work with communities to be able to say, look, these are areas of the forest that you can access safely and take wood. If people are taking what they'd call twigs off the ground, in a dry area like Mukuyu, that reduces the fire risk. On top of that, we've invested about 1,500 stoves so far, these energy-saving stoves that use about 30 or 40% less fuel wood than a traditional three-stone cooking facility. There are huge challenges in implementing OGMs. Expectations, making sure that you can always stand behind a statement that these are independent and these are credible.
One of the challenges has been also this expectation of a lot of money, or money for that matter. And the other thing about the OGM, which is there are various remedies, but unfortunately many people don't go for any other remedy apart from money. But the other non-financial remedies that Kakuzi is willing to give, but nobody has been willing to say, actually, I don't want money. This is the remedy I want. But I'm hoping that as time goes by, people may learn about the alternative remedies that they can get.
The Global Compact Network Kenya has supported Kakuzi in implementation, especially in terms of gender and business and human rights. So it is a good platform where we learn from other companies in Kenya and regionally to just be able to know what is the next step, the best step, what are the challenges or what are the experiences of other companies and how best can we borrow from them. It is also an opportunity for other companies to learn from what has worked for us as an OGM and for them to implement the same in their own companies.
I think the lessons that have been learned is that having the ability that someone can say, I have a grievance with you, I've got confidence to go somewhere and have my grievance independently investigated is very, very important. Some people have even gone back to the mechanism, I believe, and said, we are so grateful that you got involved in this because we now have a resolution.
I would say other companies that are thinking of having an OGM, it is very important to involve the community that you operate in. It is very important to involve the employees that you're working with. Because if you don't build that confidentiality, if you don't build that confidence with them, if you don't build that trust with them, there's no way that your OGM would work. And even the top management, it is very important for them to appreciate why we are doing this OGM.
One of the key parts of what we believe is that we don't have all the answers. We can't sit here today and to say that because we've done A, B, and C, we don't face challenges. We do face challenges. But it's our belief that by being transparent, then what you tend to do is you tend to get people who want to work with you, and that brings a different dimension, a better dimension into how you resolve, solve, mitigate those challenges.